All right, Gerry, I'm letting you in. There you go. Oh, it flipped us this time. All right, we're live. I hope we're live. Again, I always laugh before every time before I go live. There's some sort of glitch or blooper, and I know if I could tape behind the scenes, we'd have some fun bloopers by the end of the season. So anyway, we're here. It's 4 o'clock. If you are here and not starting anything in the chat, please let us know you're here. Tell us your name, where you're from, or be a fly in the wall, your choice. Right now, I don't see anybody yet. So, Gerry, know that this is also recorded, so we can come back and listen to it because I know quite a few people do. So let's get started. Tell me who you are and how you landed where you're at today.
Well, I'm Gerry Vasquez. I'm a realtor with Remax in Southern California. I've been in the LA area since 2001, but I'm originally from New York, born and raised in New York City, and decided to let's think about going somewhere else. So in 2001, through a very serendipitous set of circumstances, my husband at the time and my three sons, we landed in Hermosa Beach. I had been here for the 1984 Olympics. My first.
Okay, because I was gonna say that's a huge. Like, how did you get to that? Okay, so now I got it.
Keep going. I'll tell you. It's a funny origin story. I was here in my first career was in public relations. I worked for a very large international firm, and I came to LA in 1984 to work on the Olympics, and came and landed south in LA. I had a few days before I started working, and drove south of the airport and spent the night in this little hotel on the beach and came out and saw everybody playing volleyball and just hanging out in Hermosa Beach. I didn't even know what it was or where it was. And everybody was having fun. And I thought, oh my God, one day I want to live here. So in 2000, when I turned 40, now you know how old I am. When I turned 40, I said, I need to change it up. I need to do something different. And my husband said, yeah, okay, if I can get a job doing what I do in LA, we'll go to LA, we'll go live in Hermosa. And he got a job landed in his lap the next day.
Oh my goodness.
And they paid us to move. So here we are, and I'm still here in the area. And then a friend said to me, oh, you should be a realtor. And all of a sudden I was a realtor. So
I want to know if your friend is really a friend now that you're in real estate. But before you answer that, I want to say hi to Paul. So I know Paul through LinkedIn, and Paul, I did not know you were in South Florida for some reason. So that is so cool. If you want to put in the chat where, I lived in Tampa, I've lived in Fort Lauderdale, and actually lived in Palm Harbor, which is a suburb of Tampa. So I'm curious where in South Florida you are. Anyway, go ahead, Gerry. I interrupted, but you're going to find out that I'll do that often.
That's right. I don't know. What was I saying? Oh, my friend that is a realtor.
Yeah, I said, was your friend really your friend when she said become a realtor?
Well, it was yes, she is a friend. But she said to me, and she's a realtor, and she was a realtor for a long time when we met after I first moved here, and it was 2001, and I had to sort of reinvent myself because PR budgets got cut after 9/11, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And she said, you need to be a realtor because I can't teach people skills like you have. I can't teach negotiating, and I can't teach the integrity that's oozing out of you. You should be a realtor. And I said, I don't want to work weekends. And then 17 years later, here I am. I'm still
here. I am. Yeah. Yeah. And obviously, most people know that I was a real estate agent for about 15 to 20 years, and I've owned other businesses. So I had a post today on LinkedIn. One of my first businesses was owning a flight school. And then I was a corporate trainer for Jenny Craig. Then I've owned a restaurant. Then I became a real estate agent. And that's when I parted ways, became single, raising 2 daughters, grew a successful real estate company. And so, looking at my history, if someone said which job was the hardest, I wouldn't even have to stop and think. It was real estate.
Oh yeah,
By
this is
far.
this is a job that I love it, and I hate it some days. On the days where, and I love it. I'm such a people person. Seriously,
You are.
one of my favorite things to do is hand buyers the keys to their new home. It is
Yeah.
my favorite thing to do. It's so rewarding. Everybody wants to own their own home, and it's so wonderful when that happens. Um, but that's the one day of glitz and glamour.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I know. I know. Yeah. Hey,
and so
Lauren.
it's a tough business. It's a tough business. Hi to
Well,
hi
there
to
was
our
a
friends that
real
are
estate
joining us.
agent again on LinkedIn. There was a realtor who said how hard real estate is, and he said it's because of the people. He says people happen because you know that saying, shite happens. He's like people happen, um, and it's true. It is because the top stressors in life, like a divorce or a death, moving, buying a house, selling a house. You're dealing with a lot of emotions. So it is a
Definitely.
really tough. So what's a lesson you want to share? Say as a new realtor, maybe listening right now, or
Oh,
going to
to the
listen
new
later.
realtors.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
funny.
what kind of tip or lesson you want them to know, other than this is really hard work? Yeah.
Um, well, it's a job, so there's going to be hard things. It's not all going to be easy. So I would just say, just like any job, there are definitely tough parts of the job. Um, I'd say do what you love though, because during the course of me being a realtor, this is my little tip for the new realtors. I did get involved in a wine shop with my friends. My friends came to me to sell their wine shop, and then the next thing I knew, I was buying it with buying the business with my friends.
Yeah.
Um, and they're big wine people, okay. And they felt as though my marketing background, because I spent 20 years in consumer product marketing in New York before I got to LA, they said that would be a great asset. So um, but I even if to anybody doing any business thing is to really do something what you're passionate about. In fact, my friend that
Yeah.
suggested I become a
Absolutely.
realtor, she knew that I was into houses. I mean, I just looked at houses all the time. I had owned a couple of houses before that. I got here and bought a house. So I like houses. So I think that's a sort of a prerequisite and lesson in business. I'm no longer working with the wine shop, although I support it greatly. My friends are still running and it's very successful, but it wasn't my passion. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I do definitely. I can't tell you that real estate was my
but those
passion
are the
because
new realtors. I
you're
would.
breaking up just a second, Gerry. There, you're back. You froze for a second.
Oh, I
I can't,
froze.
it's okay. You're good now. I can't say that real estate was ever my passion. My passion is coaching. I liked real estate a lot. I certainly was passionate about the money that I was making. That was, and I was again, I was single, two young kids, so I had to make I wanted to make money and not change their lifestyle. I did not get child support. And Paul says, I didn't know you owned a flight school. Paul, this is a funny fact about me, and I'll have to post it on LinkedIn, like true or false. Tanya loves landing airplanes. I could just go up and down, touch and goes all day long and land airplanes. I get airsick. So if it's turbulent out there, I'm landing. Anyway, yes, flying was a big part of my life. For after I sailed, I graduated high school and sailed around the earth a while for 8 years, and then landed in an airport. So yes, I have a history. But we're talking about Gerry's history. So Gerry, I know you showed me a
But
book or anything else. I mean, because I don't know if you want to go down the book lane or what lane do you want to go down? Hey,
the,
Mike.
I'm sorry, did you say go down the book lane?
Yeah, you just showed me a book that you were really loved that you
Oh,
brought.
okay.
So, but I
Well,
want you to direct this. Yeah.
but the one thing I would say to the newbies, another thing I would say to the newbies is be coachable. There's a saying called come to life as an empty cup, um, and let people contribute to you. Ask for help.
Totally your call if you want to share coaching or not.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Tanya is my coach. This is not a secret.
Okay.
I
Well, I
I
didn't want that. I mean, it's very personal. Yeah.
I had other coaches, but I asked for a coach who was a realtor because you have to know what it's like to be in the trenches, to be able to coach realtors. And Tanya, even though she's a great real estate coach, if in my next iteration, when I have another business, which is looming on the horizon, it could be another side hustle, I wouldn't hesitate to have Tanya as my coach. She knows people, and she knows how I tick, and she kind of calls me on it. She's my reminder. That's okay. I don't mind. In fact, I welcome the reminder of who I am, my strengths, and then also my Achilles heel.
And right, and I call it your superpowers and your kryptonite. Right, yes, and you have phenomenal superpowers, but enough. I mean, yes. So thank you for the shout out. I appreciate it. I love your energy, right? I love. I want to say your positivity, but you're not always positive, right? You have really bad days.
Absolutely not.
Really bad days. So what do you do to not when you're having other than SOS calling your coach? What do you do to help with the positivity?
Okay, so I would say the positivity and negativity. I have a saying that your greatest strength can always be, also your greatest weakness. Okay, so there are days where have the energy I have now, and I'm really positive. But when I fall off that positive chair, I am go down hard. So I need a lot of support to pick myself back up, and I help me get back up. So I definitely recommend having a coach. But
and as your coach, well, before you share that book, because I know you long enough, right? So when you get down, it's because of what? And this isn't a coach call, and this isn't a test, Gerry. But typically, yeah, I know. But when you're down, when you're like, Tanya, I just can't anymore, it's because of what?
Well, I think it's because I really like shiny and new things. I like real estate. I'm selling one house, I'm stuck on it, and then it's like, okay, we put that to bed, and then it's another client, and we gotta, it's good, it's all exciting again and everything. But when those clients don't flow like I want them to, then I get really upset about that. And I'm
I also know that I also know, and I know Mike's going to relate to this, Paul's going to relate to this, anybody else listening. As business owners, as overachievers, you crash and burn.
Yeah, that's the new thing I'm working on, is being a little more balanced.
Yeah.
In the fall, I was very busy. Then we went into the holidays, and then I just started like all over again in January, trying to crank it. And I should have taken time off at that point. And because I tried to sustain that January, February, March, and it really was not helpful. So lesson learned there. I'm still trying to learn that lesson of balance. My thought in my head is, don't get off the merry-go-round because you won't want to get back on. But if I just step off every once in a while, just for a few moments, then I might be able to continue spinning.
Yeah, and recharging, right? And again, this is so normal, right? We all, even myself, that's why I have a coach. It's like, Tanya, you need to take a break, right? You're working from morning to noon not to morning to noon. No, I wish it was just morning to noon. Morning to noon is typically when I coach, and then it's marketing, and then it's building or creating, and then before I know it, it's 10 o'clock at night. So I get it as a business owner. We can get on that merry-go-round and not want to get off, or maybe not. For me, it's not that I don't want to. I just kind of forget and get into overachiever mode. Hey, Kylie.
Hey,
you're not late. You're good.
I would say that I have to have reminders of my Achilles heel, which is crashing and burning. I have to have coaches that remind me. And I would say I get in that energetic zone of when like I'm spiraling downward and everything is heavy and it's like, ah. So I have to try to do a couple of little things. Call one of my friendly clients.
Mm-hmm.
Just do something to start climbing up out of this. So my mom, love her. She's no longer with us, but she was somebody that was the original negative Nelly. So,
Yeah.
and my mom lived with me. I'm the youngest of five, so she stayed with me until after I was married and everything. I lived with her the longest, so I had to fight that uh, way of thinking and being
Thinking.
that she kind
Yeah.
of imprinted on me.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I found this book, The Power of Positive Thinking. It's like probably backwards, right, on the screen.
Yeah. It's okay.
The Power of
Yes.
Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Literally one day when I was a teenager and I was in the dentist's office, true story, and I saw these pamphlets, The Power of Positive Thinking. I'm like, oh my God, really? People think positive? Because I didn't know what that was. And I just started reading these pamphlets. And then I subscribed to them. This is like old school. You could get like a monthly pamphlet. And it was all these great stories of how people were having a difficulty and thought positively. And there's some element of religion in here, but I just, sort of made it a universal thought of, the universe. But I just saw this morning because I thought, what am I going to talk about on this thing to give everybody some good advice? But I forgot this book. I've got to put it right back by my nightstand because it talks about how when things are really bad, just try to trust, which I think is the hardest thing. Trust that things will change and get better because change is the only constant, right? We hear that all the time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And so I'm gonna. I love what Kimberly had said about it's an opportunity to discover new things about yourself. It's not the end of the world, and because Gerry and I were talking about this before we logged on, that sometimes lessons are, they're hard, they're painful, but if we learn from them, right, it was very valuable to have gone through it. So thanks, Kimberly. And this topic from Paul, Gerry knows I'm super passionate about this. I even think Kimberly knows that I'm not thrilled about the sentence work-life balance. I do not like it. So Paul, I'm on your page. I say, life work blending, because I don't know that we're ever going to be like this balanced, right? It's just that, as much as, I wish that turbulence in the air was always nice and calm. It's not, right? There's always clear air turbulence somewhere, right? It's this. So, Paul, I do believe that it's more of harmony and alignment and blending. It's never going to be completely balanced. So I love your comment. All right. So, Gerry, you get to put your 2 cents in.
Well, I think, balance is like every once in a while, the seesaw is just straight for a few seconds. And then you just kind of realize you're straight. And then you kind of, oh, wait a minute, that tips me. So I think that it's kind of a work in progress, so, but it's just that reminder when you're suddenly going like this, wait a minute, before you're off the seesaw. So I think it's it's ongoing process. And and I have to remember to go back to basics when I'm feeling bad. It's like, oh, wait, and also for the new realtors out there, when it's not busy, I even forgot this year, when it's not busy, appreciate the not busy time. Because this week I'm very busy and I'm thinking, oh, I wanted to get that one personal thing done that I should have done last week when I wasn't busy. So I forgot appreciate the not busy time.
Appreciate the non-busy. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so there's a word I want you to talk about because it's a word you love, and that's magic.
Oh, I love magic. I love magic. Okay, so magic, actually, the story of how we got to California
Yeah.
was literally magic. Magic phrase. It was, oh, I wish we could move to California. I wish it would be great if somehow we just picked ourselves up and moved us to California. And then my ex-husband got a phone call saying, "Do you want a job in LA?" Literally happened like that. Magic, I forget about magic. I forget that we create our own reality. We do, in the words, in our thoughts, and you can wish it into being. I seriously, like 2 weeks ago, this is kind of a rough real estate year for a lot of people.
Sure, absolutely.
And for me. So we're not making as much money as we normally would. So seriously, and I don't know, Tanya, if I told you this, but like 3 weeks ago, I just said, okay, universe, I really need a bunch of money right now. Like, it's just making me crazy how I'm spending all this money and nothing is coming in. That day, my tax person called me and said, "You're getting this giant refund." I was like, "Okay, magic." So
magic and the universe loving you.
Okay, yes. Yeah. And I don't know, you guys Ted Lasso fans. Okay, so you know Ted Lasso's dance. If you don't know Ted Lasso's dance, you have to look it up, and I highly recommend the show.
I know it, just don't ask me to do it.
Right. So, okay. Well, I pretend doing it. I don't do it very well. But I'm remembering an offer on a big property 2 years ago, and I just wanted this so bad. It was the biggest sale of my career, and I wanted it for my clients. It was the perfect house for them. But I just started doing the Ted Lasso dance. But as I sent in the offer, I just said, "We're going to get it." And I did my Ted Lasso dance. Believe it, believe. I have the believe sign over my doorway going out of my house, and sure enough, we got it.
Nice.
And I'm fully going to admit, I am not in that place every time. I am working my way out back to that positive thing all the time.
Yeah.
But I believe in magic. I call real estate magic phone calls. Okay. I need magic phone call because I've been mailing out things and I've been calling all these people over here. And then suddenly, boop, from over this way, I'll get a magic phone call.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. That's how it works.
We can make magic, in every business.
Yes. Which also equates, the magic happens when we're actually working, right? Yes, I want there to be positive thoughts. Yes, I want there to be visualizations and journaling and meditating. And we also have to roll up our sleeves and we get rewarded.
Oh, you have to be in action. You absolutely have to be in action. We're co-creating with the forces of the universe, but you can't sit there and just say, okay, like I want to sell a bunch of houses,
you have and then wait by your phone or
wait for the phone to ring. No,
wait for the yes.
You have to be in action, and that's just like anything. It's just like
okay. So, are there any other Ted Lasso fans besides Gerry and Marianne? Because yes, I there were some episodes I wasn't crazy about, but all in all, I really loved watching the 3-part series. Great lessons in there. Obviously, as a coach, there's great lessons in there. But my favorite one, I have many, but one of my favorites, and I got my daughter a mug that says "Boss Ass Bitch" on it. So that was one of my favorite. Is that one episode with her goddaughter, right? Rebecca and her goddaughter, and her goddaughter says she's a boss ass bitch. Yeah, that's what I want my clients to embrace. That superpower. Yeah.
Well, that years ago, one of my mentors and teachers had told me that whole story about getting big, bigger than the problem. In fact, and a friend of that person, because she's passed now, but a friend of that person when COVID hit, and I called him for advice, and he said to me, "Get bigger than COVID. Just get bigger than it.
Get bigger than COVID.
Yeah. Get your energy up here." And so that is, I love that Rebecca scene.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it was like right towards the end of the third season where Rebecca was looking in the mirror at her, like 10-year-old self. I don't know if you remember that scene, but that was
Yes.
super powerful when she was looking in the mirror and saw her 10-year-old self again. And then she had to get big and powerful for a meeting. Yeah, that's exactly some of the lessons from that movie.
Yeah.
Have you watched the playbook? I have not, Paul. A Coach's Guide to Life on Netflix. I will look that up today. I will. There's another coaching movie on, I believe it's Netflix. If not, it's Amazon, but I will find it, Paul, and I'll post it in the comments later. It's phenomenal. And Jay saying hi. Hey, Jay. Jay, I want to know if you watched Ted Lasso, because we're talking about Ted Lasso and some coaching moments in there, or growth moments in there. So we're nearing our half hour, Gerry. So I want to turn this around to promoting you. I want everybody who's commenting, please promote yourself. Please tell us what you want, what you need for your business. If we can help you, we will. The universe will. So this is the time where I want us to, please come back. Please, let's create a community where we can share our wants, our needs, our fears, our wins. For example, I know a lot of you know Amber. Amber was on live 2 weeks ago. And so at the end, I asked you, what do you really need in your business right now, Amber? And Amber responded, I need somebody to teach me how to use Etsy. And in fact, I think it was Kylie who's on here now. I think if she's still here, I'm pretty sure it was Kylie who said, I can help you with Etsy, right? So that's what I want to create with this live, is a place for us to support each other. Please tell us where you're at too, because I know Marianne's a real estate agent, right? She's in Texas. I think I just saw Jamie make a comment. She's in the Seattle area. Here's Jamie. Jay and I go way back. He is in Nebraska. And if I said the wrong state, I owe you a free month of coaching. But that's what I want. So Gerry, it's your turn. What do you want? What do you need? What's going to help you in your business?
Wow. I guess I could use a virtual assistant. I could really use a virtual assistant. So it's time for me to access that. I know once I say what I need, Tanya is going to be, like on me to get
on it. Yes.
Yeah. So I have to watch what I'm saying here. Paul asked me, who's the most impactful person in your life, and what's the greatest lesson they've taught you? Wow. I would say I have 3 sons. They're all completely different. And they've all taught me really different things. My oldest son, he teaches me, he tells it to me like it is, calls me on my stuff. So he teaches me a lot. My middle son is just comfortable in his own skin. He's so calm, cool, and collected. I wish I could be just as comfortable as he is. He really doesn't care what people think and what he does. He's the kid in 4th grade who wore 1 black sneaker and 1 white sneaker Vans and then the other day wore the other 2 because he just has like the style and not care about what he does. And then my youngest son is, always calling me on my stuff too. But he has a great focus. He just graduated from law school. Boy, he has focus.
That's really amazing. Yeah.
But I would say my mom, really, truly, my mom definitely, my dad passed away when I was 15. She's been very tenacious. She just had this like bulldog, just go and do it and no excuses. She was a nurse too. Also, you didn't get to stay home from school unless you were bleeding.
Yeah.
That is a nurse's attitude. I mean, she sees people coming in dying. Like if I had a sniffle, it's like, oh, come on, go to school. So I always had that drive and get it done. And, I can push through anything attitude. And I think I got that from her. She was a little tough on us, but I think I got it from her. And
Yeah.
again, also, she's a little on the negative side. So I think it helped me with that drive to think positive.
Positive. Yeah. Awesome. Good to know. And I know you want clients too. So if anybody knows anybody moving to the LA area, Hermosa Beach area, right? Any of the
anywhere in the
cities.
LA area. Anywhere in LA,
Yep.
I work.
So do not forget to shout that out. And so thank you, Paul. Thank you for shouting out what you need, because I want everybody to do that. Launched my first course today. So yes, I saw that on LinkedIn, Paul. Launched my first course today, looking for anyone who wants to learn how to effectively use and maximize LinkedIn to make money. I actually, would be more than happy to share that on my Facebook page, because that's where I'm most active, Paul. So if you want to send me something or a link that will click on Facebook, please feel free to message me. Okay. Happy to help you promote your launch. What else we got? Anybody else want to shout out anything that they need? Please put it in the comments. If I miss it, I'm sorry. Marianne, huge supporter. Thank you so much for sharing. It always helps to hear other people's stories and challenges. Yeah, we're not alone. We all have them. We all have kryptonite. We all have superpowers. So yeah, I want to share. All right. Well, we are at our limit. We actually went over a little bit, so yay. But I want to honor everybody's time. So know that this gets recorded. Know that you can come back to it and add anything if you want to. If you want to, add a shout out later that you want people to see, please feel free to do so. Paul, please follow up, send me some stuff. And let's see where I can say thank you here. Yeah, then I have my outro. So again, thank you. See you next week. Gerry.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
Thank
Shout
you.
out to Tanya, too.
Thank you, Gerry.
My favorite coach. my only coach. My favorite coach.
Yeah, having a couple of them is not a bad idea, no. Yeah, one's probably enough. All right, here we go. Saying goodbye officially.